and a new packet arrives. What should I do with this packet? I have not enough space in the queue to keep this packet. What should I do? Should I drop it? Should I drop someone else? I don't know. It depends on my strategy. For example, if my strategy is tail drop, it means that, okay, it's not important for me. As soon as the queue becomes full, I have to drop all of arriving packets, all of them. It's not important. This packet is high priority packet or low priority packet or something else. It's not important. Just I should drop it. I have to drop it because there is no space in the queue to keep that packet. For example, if you are sick and you are going to doctor, to a physician for visiting, okay, you are going to the doctor's office and you are saying to the secretary, okay, I'm sick, I want to visit the doctor, and the secretary says that, oh, I'm sorry, my list is complete. The list is complete. We have no empty space in the list to accept you. You are late. This is tail drop strategy. You are late, so you cannot receive a service. You should leave the office. Okay? But maybe you say, oh, no, for example, I'm the doctor's nephew. I'm the doctor's brother. I'm sister. The doctor is my sister, my uncle, or something like that. What does it mean? It means that, oh, no, secretary, I have some priority. I am high priority patient. So you must care about me. What does it mean? It means that for some special packets in network, I should be care about their priority. I cannot suppose that the whole packet have similar priority. No, their priority is different in different cases. Okay, so I have to care about them. So I have to use priority scheduling strategy. What does it mean? It means that the queue is full and I receive a new packet. Okay, but the new packet is is a high priority packet. What should I do? It's simple. The answer is simple. Find the lower priority packet, drop that packet, and put this packet instead of the dropped packet. Just simply replace a lower priority packet with the higher priority one. Okay, that packet is arrived sooner. It's not important. Its priority is low. But this packet has a higher priority. Okay? So this is another strategy for packet dropping. Your queue is not full, but the length of queue is long. Okay? The network is congested. It means that the network is congested. The network has not enough space to serve the received packets. When I'm signing a contract to receive an internet link, I'm signing a contract. In that contract, I'm signing that, okay, I wanted link with transmission rate of 1 megabit per second or something like that. Okay? When I'm sending my this is an estimation, but when I'm sending or receiving data in reality, sometimes, not always, sometimes I need to send or receive more data, more than 1 megabit. Okay, what should I do? I'm sending or receiving that data, but the problem is with the ISP. The ISP cannot send those packets easily or cannot receive those packets easily. Why? Because it's outside of my contract. In contract, I'm saying, okay, I'm paying this money, and instead of that, I'm looking for a service for 1 megabit per second service. This is the contract. So what should ISP do? Nothing. Just look on my contract. Okay. And on the status of the network. Okay. My network is free and you are sending more data, so I'm marking them. You are sending more data. Okay, I mark them. And the network is free now. So, okay, in this case, I'm sending your data. But be careful, you are sending more data. I'm marking it. But maybe along the path toward the destination, maybe some parts of network be congested. I don't know where, but somewhere it's congested. What will happen? The router look at the packet. Okay, the network is saturated, is congested, and this packet is marked. It means that this packet is an extra traffic. So simply, the router would drop that packet. It's high priority. It's not important for me. I will drop it because it's an extra traffic. So managing queues and resources of the network during the congestion needs the marking strategies. For example, using explicit congestion notification or ECN strategy, or using random early detection or RED. There are several marking strategies. You can find them easily on the internet, on the web. This is another part of buffer management. But the third part, what does it mean? It means that my packets are stored in a queue and they should send across this network. Okay, my packets are stored in the queue and I should send them across the network. But I should send them one by one. I cannot send a mixture of them. I should send them one by one. Sending one packet, after finishing it, sending another packet. After finishing, sending another one. So the question is this: which packet should be sent next times? This is a scheduling strategy. I should send, for example, packet X. Why? According to my strategy. So packet scheduling means that deciding which packet to be sent next on the link. There are several strategies. For example, one of the basic strategy is FIFO or first come first serve, FCFS or FIFO. First in, first out, FIFO serve. Both of them are similar. It means receives sooner to the queue. It will be sent sooner to. In other words, packets are transmitted in order of their arriving times to the output port. Their arrival. For example, if you stand in a queue for train, for airplane, for bus, I don't know, for voting, wherever, in a bakery, I don't know, for food, you are serving one by one. The people coming right now should stand at the end of the queue, not on the head of the queue. We will serve to the head of queue, and the new arrival people should stand at the end of queue. This is first come, first serve. Okay? But maybe someone you see that, for example, you're standing in a queue, and you are watching. Oh, someone comes and moves toward and getting some food. Oh man, I'm on the queue. What are you doing? I have priority. That's right. He or she has priority. What does it mean? It means that he has a higher level of priority to receive the service sooner than the others. Why? For example, he's a manager. Okay, you are a team, or he's a guard, I don't know. He has a restricted job. He cannot stop in the queue. So he must receive his service sooner than the other. This is the priority scheduling. In the priority scheduling, firstly, we classify the arrived packet into some queues, at least 2 queues, at least. Okay. For example, here the red queue and green queue. We classify the arrived packets into the red one and green one. And then for serving, we will serve to the higher priority queues first. For example, here, we will serve to the red packets instead of the green ones. After finishing the whole red packets, finishing the whole of them, I can serve to the green packets. After serving to the whole red one. It means that if I have a red packet, still I have a red packet, I cannot serve to a green packet. I should stop. The green packet should stop. I should serve to red one. It's finished. Then I can send green one. For example, look at this. I received 3 different packets. I received the packet 1, it's a red packet. There is no packet in the queue, so I'm starting to send it. As soon as it enters into the queue, I'm sending it because the queue is empty. The next packet is packet number 2, which is green. But before finishing, look at this, before finishing the sending of packet 2, packet 1, I received another packet, packet number 3. It's a red one. So I have a green packet and a red packet in the queues. One green packet and one red packet. So as soon as finishing the packet number 1, I will send the packet number 3 because it's a red packet. It's a red packet. The packet number 2 arriving sooner than packet number 3, but because of its lower priority, it will be sent after packet number 3. And when I'm sending packet number 2, packet number 4 is arrived. So after packet number 2, I would send packet number 5. And for example, here, packet number 5 is received. And we can see that, okay, there is no other packet in the queue. So I will serve it as soon as arriving to the queue. This is the packet. This is the priority scheduling. In priority scheduling, always we serve to the highest priority packet. After finishing them, we will serve to the next higher priority packets. After finishing them, next one. In this case, you can see that I said that, okay, I cannot send a lower priority packet because of having higher priority packets in the queue. What does it mean? It means that the lower priority packets should wait until the finishing of the higher priority packets. We call it aging. Age comes from age. Aging. The lower priority packet receives more delays in the queue because of their priority order. Okay? This is the problem with the priority packets. Another strategy is round robin. In round robin, I'm classifying the packets in different queues. For example, red queue, green queue, and blue queue. And I'm serving those packets and queues one by one. One packet from the red queue, another packet from the green queue, and another packet from the blue queue. One by one. I'm sending those packets one by one. And after the blue packet, again, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue. I'm repeating this order always, multiple times. So we say round robin, okay? If it is empty, just simply I pass it. For example, let's suppose that the green queue is empty. It's not important. After serving the red queue, I would serve to blue queue. Again, red queue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. Just, it's a cyclic process. So we say round robin. Maybe someone says that, okay, in this case, again, we don't care about the priority of packets. The answer is easy. We can define some weights for each queue. We can define some weights. How? For example, I'm putting the weight 3 to the red one weight 2 to the green, and weight 1 to the blue queue. It means that the blue packet three red packets after my voice. Oh, okay. My link is good. Sorry, the problem was with my internet link. It became weak for some seconds. Okay, sorry for that. So, if I want to be careful about the priority, I can put some weights to those queues. For example, weight 3 for red one, weight 2 for green one, and weight 1 with the blue one. And then I can say, okay, sending 3 packets from the green from the red queue. After that, sending 2 packets from the green queue and sending 1 packet from the blue queue. Still you have problem, Hagar Sadun. Okay, whenever you have problem, please put a sign or write in the chat room. Okay, let me know you have problem. Whenever you have problem, I'm watching my quality link sign. I have a sign for quality of link of my link in the top corner of my window. I'm looking on that. Okay, but if you have problem, please write it in the chat room. Let me know. Okay. So I can define those weights and sending more packets from some high priority queues. Sending more packets from those higher priority queues with respect to the lower one. Okay. We call this strategy as weighted round robin, or WRR. Weighted round robin. Okay. It's a simple but very powerful strategy. Another good strategy is weighted fair queuing. When we talk about fair queuing, it means that I should assign enough resources to different queues, or I should assign fair amount of resources to each queue. For example, I have a 1 megabit transmission rate bandwidth, and I should divide this bandwidth between some people. Okay, I should assign a fair amount of a fair portion of that bandwidth between them to each of them. This is fair queuing. But still I can say that, okay, it's better for me to, maybe someone says that, okay, for example, if I have 4 users, each of them must receive 1/4 of the bandwidth. It's fair. I will say, okay, it's fair. So this is fair queuing strategy. But we know that some packets have higher priority. So again, I can say that, okay, you can put some weights to different queues. For example, same as previous, you can say, okay, the red packet would receive a higher weight, would receive a moderate weight, and the blue packet would receive this very small. So I can manage in this way, okay? And saying is system. Please wait. By this strategy, I can guarantee some I can guarantee some minimum. For example, I can guarantee minimum bandwidth, I can guarantee minimum traffic, minimum delay. By using this weighted fair queuing, I can guarantee some of those items. Okay? The next topic is network naturality. What does it mean? For example, let's suppose that I have an ISP, but if I look technically on the ISP's task, I know that the ISP technically should share or allocate the bandwidth or its resources between different users. So it means packet scheduling, packet buffer management, and so sometimes I'm looking on the network, the nature of network, as a social or economic human right. We need to protect their communication way. It's a social principle. Or someone can say, okay, it's a competition between different telecommunication companies, and we should keep our users. So do as much as you can, do it well. With this price, for example. These are economic principles. Okay. So we can say that when we are talking about network, sometimes we have to legally enforce some rules and policies on network. And we know that these items are not easy to talk. For example, the social or economical aspects of the network in Iran is completely different with those principles in Iraq. So different countries, they have different interest on networks. But from 2015, three clear and bright line rules has been proposed by the US FCC in order to protecting and promoting on open internet. They suppose we have these rules. So these rules became part of the network naturality. What are those rules? The first rule is no blocking. It means that if a service is not harmful, because some services are harmful, we know that. If a service is not harmful, nobody should block its contents, applications, services, and something like that. Nobody. Just if you have a reasonable idea, then after that we can think about blocking some services. Okay, but nobody should block these services who are not harmful. The other rule is no throttling. It's again something near to the previous one. It means that if something is lawful and or it's not harmful, we should in the non-blocking idea, they say that okay, we cannot block something that is which is not harmful. In not throttling means that we cannot push or force to do something more. These rules look at the third item, no paid prioritization, no engage in paid prioritization. These rules means a free competition between different applications, between different services. These three rules. I cannot block a non-harmful service. I cannot pay prioritization to some special services, and I cannot make encouragement for some special applications or services. Everything should be reasonable. Okay, and these rules are other parts of a network naturality. But one main question: When I'm talking about an ISP, what is an ISP? ISP is providing a telecommunication service, or it provides an information service for me. Which of them is correct? To answer this question, I should look on the regulatory in my country. For example, in the USA, in Telecommunication Act of 1934, we have a title. It says that the ISPs should apply to information services. Okay. So it means that they are not, they have not common carrier duties. Okay, 1996, we can say that an ISP has some common carrier duties on telecommunication. So it depends to the rules in the regulatory. Here we have two different titles. They are completely different. One of them say that, okay, an ISP is an information service, should prepare information services, and the other says that an ISP should prepare telecommunication services. Okay. But those services should be reasonable and with non-discrimination, which requires regulation and something like that. So it depends. I cannot say that, okay, an ISP have to prepare telecommunication services, only this. It depends on the regulatory. And duties defined by the regulatory. That please clear that I never talk about that a routing algorithm should stand in layer 3. It's not necessary. For example, the RIP routing algorithm, RIP, this algorithm runs in layer 5, in the application layer, and its result is stored in the forwarding or in the routing table. But for example, the OSPF This is a layer 3 protocol. So we cannot say that the routing algorithm is in layer 3. No, it depends. But we know that the result is stored in the forwarding table or the routing table in layer 3. Please pay attention about this. This is the format of IP datagram version 4. IP version 4. You can see that it's a complicated header. And after that, we can see a payload here. Let me look on the header. The header can be size between 20 to 60 bytes. Main header has 5 bytes. No, excuse me, 20 bytes. The main header has length of 20 bytes, and we have an extension or an option section. This option section is optional, but the length of these options can be 40 bytes. So the minimum size of the header of IPv4 is 20 bytes, and its maximum size is 60 bytes. And a packet may have a payload or may not have a payload. Okay? It's optional too. But most of the times we have some payloads. Let me start from the first field. The first field is version, which is equal to 4. The next one is header length. It defines the length of header because the length of header is variable. So we need a field to determine its length. Okay. The next one is type of service. It has been used for quality of service and some guarantees. The next field is length. It shows the length, total length of the packet. When we talk about the total length of the packet, it consists of both header and payload, both of them, not one of them. The 16-bit identifier, age, flag, and fragmentation offset. I will talk about them in the future. Time to live means that how many hops the packet should be sent across the network, because a packet should last its path toward the destination. So we need a simple method to remove those packets, the packet that they lost their destination. Time to live is used for this. After each hop, we decrease the TTL or time to live, and when it becomes 0, it means that I couldn't find the destination, so I should drop the packet easily. Okay. The next field is upper layer protocol. It shows that which protocol, the data of which protocol is carried on this payload. Data The next one is header checksum. Okay. The header checksum is a simple mechanism to check the correctness of the header, source IP address, and destination IP address. These are used for addressing the source and destination. And you can see an options section. It's if any. Okay. There are some important items here. For example, TTL has length of 8 bits. So the maximum TTL is in the network is 255 hops. The maximum length of the route is the maximum is 255 hops, not no more than this, because I cannot send traffic over than this by this strategy. The length is 16 bits, so it means that the maximum length of packets is this is the maximum length of packet, and part of this packet is dedicated for length, but length has only 4 bits. So I can put a value between 0 to 15 in the field okay, so the packet header length is a number between 0 to 15. But as I said, the length of packet is something between 20 to 60 bytes. What should I do? The maximum length of a packet header is 60 bytes, and the maximum value can I store here in the header length is 15. So simply I divide 16 by 15. I will receive number 4. So their size has 4 times difference. What does it mean? It means that if the packet header length is, for example, 15, it means that the packet header is 60. Or if you see number 5, value 5 in the header length, it means that the header of this packet has 20 bytes length. Okay. Please be clear that for the length, from the past I told you that the packet will be segmented in layer 4 according to the transmission specifications in layer 2. Okay, so we never use the maximum packet length here. Another question is IP addressing. Look at this. IP address is a 32-bit logical identifier. When you are in your home, in your family, you have a family name and your name. Okay? For example, I am Hussein غفاريان. غفاريان is my family name. So if someone look for me outside of my homework, you can say, where is غفاريان? But inside my homework, if someone says that, okay, where is غفاريان? All people in the home can say, we are غفاريان. Okay? In the home, someone should call me by my name. My name is Hussein. So someone should say, where is Hussein? Hussein غفاريان. Where is he? Okay? The IP address is a 32-bit logical identifier. It's associated to each host or router interfaces. The IP address guarantees that it uses a unique structure, a unique values all around the world. Look at this. I have two different addresses. One of them is MAC address and the other one is IP address. MAC address is the physical address of a system. It's on your network adapter. Okay? It means that if I'm traveling, for example, to Iraq, the MAC address of my system does not change. Okay? So we have two names. One of them is MAC address, which is fixed. The other one is IP address. Which is logical. My physical address, the physical address of my laptop is always the same. But outside of a network, I have to use an IP address to make my device unique in the internet between millions of computers. Okay, look at this. Look at these IP addresses here. An IP address consists of 4 bytes. They are separated with dot. For example, in this case, we have an address. 1 byte 1. Okay, let me choose another color. One byte. One. Or this one. One. There are 4 different parts. If I'm using the notation of dotted decimal IP address, I should put a dot between each of those bytes. We know that a byte can accept a value between 0 to 255 in a byte. Or we can show it in a binary format like this. In a binary format, we don't need to use those dot lines, those dots. Okay? This is the IP address, version 4. We should assign an IP address to each interface of the devices. It's not important for us that that interface is a wired interface, is a wireless interface, or is a virtual interface for virtual machines. Okay, it's not important for us, and we don't need to be raw and clear about them, about their types. Okay, just we know that those interface has their own IP address, must receive their own IP address. Okay. Okay. Look at this figure here. Let me here. Look at this figure here. You can see that here. Look at the first 3 bytes. They are similar together. In this network, look at this. This is a network on the left. And you can see a repeated pattern in all of those IP addresses. Let me look on this network. If I look on this network, you can see this part, and this one. Look at them. This part, the highlighted part, is repeated in the whole IP address. Let me try on the third network or the third subnet. this one, this one, and this one. You can see in those networks, in each of them, we have 3 networks. Each of them has each of those networks has a fixed address. We called it a net ID or a subnet ID. Hala Hassan asked me, what does it mean, 3 subnets? Hala, you can buy. We have here, in this case, we have 3 networks. I can buy 3 different IP address range, okay? Or I can buy one IP address range and then divide it between my networks. Yes, of course. It can be, for example, 1000. It's not important. It can be 1 subnet, 2 subnet, 3, 4, and it's what it's as you wish. And for example, use a network with 100 or 1000 subnets. It's not important. Let's go back to this slide. I'll show you that in each network, some parts of addresses, IP addresses, is fixed, and some other parts is changed. For example, look on the left network, left subnet. The host ID is 1. The host ID is 2. The host ID is 3. The host ID is 4. Okay. So we have to word host ID and net ID. Okay. Instead of net ID, we can say subnet ID. Subnet ID. Okay. I will finish it very soon. Okay. So each of those addresses has 2 parts. First part is net ID or subnet ID. The other part is host ID. It's like my name. My name is Hussein غفاريان. غفاريان is my family name, and Hussein is my name. So if you call me outside of my home, you can call me غفاريان. Who is غفاريان, for example? But in my home, you have to call me as Hussein or Hussein غفاريان. You know, you must call my host ID. So each You can find each system is here. This one. This router has 3 interfaces. Each are connected from network. For example, the west interface receives the IP address 223.1.1.4. The east interface receives the IP address 223.1.2.9. The south interface receives the IP address of 223.2.1.3.27. The IP addresses in each of those ranges is completely clear in each network. In each network, those IP addresses should be from the same range. Many ranges. Okay, this is the structure of internet addressing, and we know that. Look at this one. We know that. In this example, we assign the first 24 bits to the net ID. We call it subnet mask. The subnet mask of these IP addresses has 24 bits. We show it in this way. A slash notation, a slash 24. We use 24 first bit from left to right, 24 first bit as a mask to determine the subnet part of an address. The subnet part of an address. We call it subnet. So, look at this. Each address has 32 bits. We use 24 bits of them for subnet. So 8 bits remain for host ID. So I can have 256 different IP address in each of those networks. 256 different addresses in each of those networks. I'm focusing on these 8 bits. Okay. Please read more about the IP addresses and IP address assignment and this mask. Here I show you what is subnet mask. Subnet mask defines the fixed part of the IP address, or it defines the subnet parts of an address and make it separated from the host part. And simply I can use this calculation to find the number of host IP addresses in each network or subnet. Okay, have you any question? That is enough for today. Have you any question? Okay, please read more about this content, today's content, and have a good day. Goodbye.